Hello, once again, welcome to my channel, Learn Value Investment with Manan Shroff. Okay, in today's video, I'm going to talk about Alphabet, a parent company Google. Is it a good time to buy? Today is August 3, 2022. Alphabet is right now trading around $119. We just want to find it out if it's a good time to purchase Alphabet by going through the qualitative and quantitative analysis. And what would be the maximum price you can pay based on our calculation. So many of you knows Google make money through advertisement business. And the advertisement business is it's printing money for Google. Just to give you one example, that in 2012 or 2013 annual report, Warren Buffett says one time that to compete the world auto industry, for he's one of the company Geico, per click, Berkshire was paying Google about $11 to $12. Now that is per click. And this is how the Google makes money. So if you go to any search term, and if you see here the ad, if you click on this one of the ad, then the Google gets some money based on competitive bid, but so Google will put the user to your website, but it doesn't mean that, it doesn't give you guarantee that they're going to buy the stuff. So Google business model is very good, exceptionally good. As I said previously in my video with the PayPal, I like a toll companies that can produce the recurring revenue. We can also look on the Google business side that Alphabet is in the position where no new search engine can knock it out. So on the qualitative side, if I'm looking at 10 to 20 years from now, I will say that Alphabet is going to be a lot bigger than what it is right now, and making tremendous amount of money for shareholder. Recently, what happened because of the technology stock, and I think that the market is perceiving that Google growth story is over in punishing the Google stock. But I would just say, just to make my point clear, if you go, for example, here in the Google, if you go to analysis estimate for Google, let's see analysis estimate for next 5 years. So the next 5 years, Google is going to make about 14% growth, right? Okay. Now Google, if you see here, PE ratio. Usually I look PE ratio, and I also look the forward PE ratio, because just to make sure that there is no one-time charge. So PE ratio is about 22. If I go into the statistic, I can also see the forward PE, which is about 2174. Okay. So here is a Google which is growing at 14 or 15% revenue, and market is paying 21 times or 22 times earning. But if you think about that way, and you are punishing Google because its growth story is over, then you are punishing for the wrong reason. Because example, if you take example of Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola is very mature company. Let's say Coca-Cola is growing at what rate? 5.5%. Okay. What market is paying for the Coca-Cola? 30 times earning, which that doesn't make sense. Coca-Cola is a mature company, and both Coca-Cola and Google make good amount of money and will make more money in the future. But I don't like the partiality where market is giving Coca-Cola, which is growing only 5%, 30 times PE, where they are hesitant to pay for Google 21, 22 times. So there is a disconnect, and we have to take advantage of it. And within the last 1.5 years, I have bought so many Google. And I'm still buying it as I get a capital. But let's go into the Alphabet and let's see what is a good price for Alphabet. So mainly when I try to decide, we decide how much you want to pay for Google based on its earning. Second thing, you decide what kind of PE ratio you want to pay for Google. Again, I will come into the conclusion that if you pay Google 30 times earning, I will still buy Google. I mean, about 30 times your investment is going to be probably not going to produce the return you are looking for. But up to 30 times, I mean, absolutely, I will buy Alphabet, or I will keep adding Alphabet. And let's look what is the 30 times it's going to make. So if we go to the statistic, what you usually do, just for you viewer, whenever you want to invest in a good company, or whenever you're investing the first time in the company, I always go to their statistic. Look the fantastic statistic they have. They have a total cash 125 billion, and debt is only 29 billion. So basically they have a net cash. Again, net income available to common for trailing 12 months, it's 72 billion. I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, you can't beat this company. Return on equity point of view, it is also great. It's producing 30% return on equity, 15% return on asset. Looking all these numbers, I can quickly say that I can pay up to 30 times. And if I want to do very quick calculation and just want to give you the very quick calculation, what I usually do is I go to analysis and I look for next year earning, which is estimate about $5.98. And I multiply that with the 30 times PE. So according to me, Google should be traded right now at $180, and it is trading around $120. I will keep buying Google. So this is the first method that we come up with the price, $180. So let's write down based on 30 times earning, based on 30 times earning, Google should be traded at $180. Okay. There are a few other ways you can also find it out. Let me show you this one of the very good company. It's called FastGraph. And there is a subscription for it, but it's worth it. And I really like it because many times what happened that if I want to see the average 10 years PE ratio, I have to dig into the annual report, or I have to dig into the research report. What this company is doing is they will produce for you and make the calculation a lot easier. So this is Alphabet. If you look here, it says normal PE ratio, means for last 10 years, PE ratio, they will get the average, which is 25.62. This is my custom valuation ratio. I put it like 20 times, around about 20 times. Usually, one thing you have to keep it in mind, whatever growth rate for next 5 years, and if the stock is traded at the same PE, so around 18 times PE, that would be wonderful buy. But let's look into this. According to this, the normal PE ratio for last 10 years of average is 25.62. So let's go back to Alphabet. So they're going to make 5.98, and we will multiply by last 10-year average ratio, which is 25.62. So according to that, the price should come around $153. So let's write down based on last 10-year average PE, which is 25. The price should be around $153. Okay. So this is the second way we did the one calculation. We did first calculation based on 30 times next year earning. The second calculation we did, what we did is we figured it out 10-year average PE, and then we multiply that with the next year earning. So that gives us $153. And there is one more way you can do this calculation. And in that case, we're going to find it out the free cash flow. So if you want to find it out free cash flow anytime, I have other videos in my channel. You look for Learn Value Investment Lesson Series 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will teach you. And you can look from there and learn from that. But just to find it out, the free cash flow, you just have to go to the cash flow statement. So here I have the pull up the consolidated statement of cash flow of Google for the most recent quarter. If you see here, it says net cash provided by operating activity, which is 44 billion, 44.528 billion. Okay. And if you reduce this purchase property of plant and equipment from it, you get a free cash flow. But just think about this. This free cash flow is only for 6 months. Okay, you can also find it out free cash flow for a whole year. But based on what I sometimes do is, if you know the full year revenue, then find it out the percentage ratio revenue is converted into the free cash flow, which in the Google, it's converting at 20 cents. So every $1 Google makes, it makes 20 cent free cash flow, which is very good. It's the same thing like a PayPal. Okay. So 30 times PE is reasonable for these type of companies, which are converting revenue into high percentage of free cash flow. But if I just want to see based on free cash flow, if I want to find it out based on free cash flow, I can look for trailing 12-month information here. So again, net cash provided by operating activities 44528. Let's see 1 minute. Here we are only going to see up to 6 months. Let's see if we can find it out for the 1 year. In order for finding out for 1 year, if you go to their website and go for 10K. So this is the 10K for Google for year 2021. Because this one will give you yearly free cash flow value. And we can figure it out from that also. So if you see here, year ended in December 31st, net cash provided by operating activities 91,652. So the free cash flow is net cash provided by operating activity minus capital expenditure in form of purchase of property and plant equipment. So in case of Google, this can be 91 billion, 91.652 billion minus they have spent on purchase of property, plant equipment, 24 billion, 24.64 billion. Okay. So the free cash flow should be 91.652 minus 24.64, 67 billion. 67 billion is their free cash flow. Okay. Okay, let's find it out free cash flow per share. For that, we can just go here in a statistic, and we can find it out the outstanding share. So if you see the shares outstanding is 6.16 billion. So if we divided this with 6.16 billion outstanding share, we receive the free cash flow per share. So 67 billion divided by 6.16 billion. The free cash flow per share is huge for year 2021. The one of the reason was COVID, and the company has made a lot of money. I mean, this is like $11 free cash flow. If I put $11 here for the last year and multiply this one with the 30 times earning, 30 times free cash flow, the value will come $330. The Google should trade at $330. But this was one exceptional year during the COVID, 2020, 2021. In 2019, there was a tremendous advertisement jump in Google revenue. So if I can also do one more thing, that I can probably double the earning for 6 months here for 2022. So for 2022, if I double the net cash operating activity, that can be, and see, I have told you before also, I don't do in very deep calculation. My calculation are estimated. I'm going to keep Google for 10 year, 15 year, 20 year. That's how I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm not going to make money by pinpointing for quarterly, trying to get in and out by selling the share. So we look here, we double this net cash provided by operating activity, which is, by the way, not a good way to calculate, but we can just get the approximate idea. So they're probably going to make operating cash flow about 89 billion. Now, we assume that they're going to also double the purchase of property, plant, equipment. So for 89 billion, we double the reason why we are doubling is this is only 6 month things. We just want to find it out for the 12 month. Okay, so this is 33 billion. Okay, so before it was 89 billion minus 33.22 billion. So they're going to make 55 billion free cash flow. Just think about it. Company is making 55 billion in free cash flow. And they have the outstanding share 6.16 let's say how much, 6.16 billion, divided it with 6.16, $9. The free cash flow is still $9. If I multiply that with the 30, the price should come $270. So what I will do that based on free cash flow per share, the price I determine is $270. Okay. Now what we can do is we can just find it out the average of these three different ways we calculate it. So if I find it out average 180, 153, 270 divided by 3, I'm thinking that Google should trade around $200. $200 because if you think about the free cash flow, they're making almost double free cash flow than generally accounting accepted principal earning. So if you look here, earning per share, for this year, they're going to make $5.19. And what we have calculated is it's going to be around $9 free cash flow. So based on free cash flow, we just give some we did all three average and $200. The stock is trading right now $118. Okay. If we want to have a margin of safety, which Warren Buffett says, then just go by this figure, $5.19 multiplied by 30. Okay. You can still pay for Google $155. So from $155 to $200, I can still buy Google. It would be a very good purchase. Right now, Google is trading at $119. I recommended you, if you have money, buy it. Again, let me tell you this. This is my point of view, my calculation. My point of view would be different for other people. There are people would not agree with me. They don't want to pay 30 times for Google. They just want to pay 20 times, or they just want to pay 15 times. But I look into the industry. I look how easy company making money. I look their dominating position in the world. And just think about it, in the world, wherever there is an internet, the Google is going to be there, and he's going to earn money through advertisement. So for me, I can pay up to $155 for Google. The Google should trade between $155 to $200. And trust me, within 1 or 2 years, it will. Because if it's going to make free cash flow this much, institutional investor sooner or later going to purchase it. So this is just my conclusion in my thoughts on Google. I have bought a lot of Google, around $90, split adjusted price, $100. I have Google since 2017, and I'm still keeping it, and I'm still adding it. So with that, I will just conclude this presentation. I hope that you like my presentation and my thoughts on Google. If you really like it, please hit the subscribe button. And I will come with more future videos. I'm just thinking that knowledge is supposed to be shared. If my knowledge is helping someone, I'm very happy and feel grateful, because if Warren Buffett had not shared his knowledge about investment, I would not have learned any of these things, which I learned. I learned a lot from Warren Buffett, reading their annual reports. And this is one of the things I like about Warren Buffett, that being the richest person in the world, I think the biggest contribution Warren Buffett did to the mankind, is that an average person just through investment can earn billions. This is the one of the thing he make us. We can say that now, that if Warren has done it, we probably would not be able to do it that level, but still. And the second thing, there are so many billionaires in the world, and there are many billionaires, entrepreneurs, there are many institutional investors. Very few of them share their knowledge. And I believe that financial knowledge is very important because it gives you the financial freedom. And so I'm doing this without any, anything getting back, just for free. I have the group, on a WhatsApp group on a Berkshire too, and where I also put my post and thoughts about it. But that's it. So with that, I'm going to finish this presentation, and I will look more into the future. Thank you. Have a good one.